So let's talk about the Coen brothers' Southern satire take of Homer's The Odyssey, known as "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?", which recently celebrated its 20th anniversary this year. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the crime dramedy satire known as "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?", written, produced, co-edited, and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, released by Touchstone and Universal. Touchstone, of course, under license from Disney, released this in the US, while Universal released it internationally, along with Working Title Films and Studio Canal as production companies. Anyway, the film is set in 1937 rural Mississippi during the Great Depression. Its story is a modern satire loosely based on Homer's epic Greek poem known as the Odyssey that incorporates social features in the American South. Now, of course, the title of the film is a reference to the Preston Sturges 1941 film Sullivan's Travels, in which the protagonist is a director who wants to film "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?", a fictional book about the Great Depression. Now, much of the music used in the film is folk music, including that of Virginia bluegrass singer Ralph Stanley. Anyway, the movie was one of the first to extensively use digital color correction to give the film an autumnal sepia-tinted look. Anyway, the film stars George Clooney and John Turturro and Tim Blake Nelson as these three old dudes on a chain gang about to make a getaway and adventure their way in an epic journey through the Old South, along with Chris Thomas King, John Goodman, Holly Hunter, and Charles Durning in supporting roles. Okie dokie then. Let's get started. Our main characters are three convicts: Ulysses Everett McGill, Pete Hogwallop, and Delmar O'Donnell. They escape from a chain gang and set out to retrieve a supposed treasure Everett buried before the area is flooded to make a lake. The three get a lift from a blind man driving a handcar on a railway. He tells them, among other prophecies, that they will find a fortune, but not the one they seek. The trio make their way to the house of Wash, Pete's cousin. Well, apparently they get themselves comforted and all that jazz, and well, Everett uses his favorite pomade in his hair, Dapper Dan. Yeah. But unfortunately, while they're asleep, of course, Everett's wearing a hairnet after he uses the Dapper Dan, Wash reports them to Sheriff Cooley, who, along with his men, torches the barn. Wash's son helps them to escape. Soon they pick up Tommy Johnson, a young black man who claims he sold his soul to the devil in exchange for the ability to play guitar. In need of money, the four stop at a radio broadcast tower where they record a song as the Soggy Bottom Boys. Of course, that song would be "Man of Constant Sorrow", a very popular tune, as a matter of fact. That night, the trio part ways with Tommy after their car is discovered by the police. Unbeknownst to them, the recording becomes a major hit. Well, apparently, they're trying to get some stuff, and Everett's getting stuff at a store. He's getting upset at this, and he gives them a different kind of pomade called Fop, and he's like, "Well, I don't want Fop. Now, damn it, I'm a Dapper Dan man." Oh, yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, they try and talk of what they're going to plan to do. Well, this was before their big journey and what have you. I mean, Delmar says a great line. Okay, I'm a you fellas. Okay, sorry. Okay, now later on, the three encounter a trio of women singing and washing clothes in a river. Well, apparently, the women drugged him into unconsciousness with moonshine. Well, when they wake, Delmar finds Pete's clothes spread on the ground and empty except for something really big. Well, not big, but small. As he and Everett recovered, and here comes one of my favorite moments. We see a little something moving inside the shirt. Delmar's like, "Oh my gosh, they left his heart," and then a little toad comes out, like, Everett's like, "Delmar, what the heck's gotten into you?" It's like, "Can't you see it, Everett? Them sirens did this to Pete. They loved him up and turned him into a horny toad." Oh, that's as best I could do. But hey, I do a real good impression of it. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, I'm gonna continue. Delmar's convinced the women were sirens and transformed Pete into a toad. Later, one-eyed Bible salesman Big Dan Teague, that's John Goodman, invites them for a picnic lunch. But then he goes against them, beats them up, and kills the toad. On their way to Everett's hometown, Everett and Delmar see Pete working on a chain gang. Upon arriving with Ving, Everett confronts his wife Penny, that's Holly Hunter, who changed her last name and told his daughters he was dead. He gets into a fight with Vernon T. Waldrip, her new suitor. Yeah. Gets into it and he gets thrown out by I think the storekeeper. He's like, "And stay out of Woolsworth." Yeah. Later that night, they sneak into Pete's holding cell and free him. As soon as they actually, and apparently, we they encountered Pete at a movie theater where he's like, "Do not seek the treasure." Oh boy. Well, as it turns out, the women had turned Pete over to the authorities in order to collect a reward. Under torture, Pete gave away the treasure's location to the police. Everett then confesses that there is no treasure. He made it up in order to persuade Pete and Delmar to escape with him so he could stop Penny from marrying again. Pete is enraged at Everett because he had 2 weeks left on his original sentence and must serve 50 more years for the escape. Soon the trio stumble upon a rally of the Ku Klux Klan, who are planning to hang Tommy. The trio disguise themselves as Klansmen and attempt to rescue Tommy. Yeah, and they manage to catch him, and then Tommy's like, "That's mighty nice of you guys." Yeah, but suddenly they're in for a rude awakening. Big Dan is a clan member and reveals their identities. Chaos ensues, and the Grand Wizard himself is revealed as Homer Stokes, a candidate in the upcoming gubernatorial election. The trio rushed Tommy away and cut the supports of a large burning cross, leaving it to fall on Big Dan. Now to the ending and the final act. You have 5 seconds to stop this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below to avoid any spoilers, okay? Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Eric convinces Pete, Delmar, and Tommy to help him win his wife back. So they sneak into a Stokes campaign gala dinner she's attending. Disguised as musicians, the group begins a performance of their radio hit, prompting wild enthusiasm from the crowd. Stokes recognizes them as the group who humiliated his mob. When he demands the group be arrested and reveals his white supremacist views, the crowd runs him out of town on a rail. Pappy O'Daniel, that's Charles Durning, the incumbent candidate, seizes the opportunity, endorses the Soggy Bomb Boys, and grants them full pardons. Penny abandons Waldrop, who had been Stokes' campaign manager, and agrees to marry Everett with the condition that he find her original ring. The next morning, the group sets out to retrieve the ring, which is at a cabin in the valley which Everett had earlier claimed was the location of the treasure. But they were too late. The police, having learned of the place from Pete, were already there to arrest them, and Cooley orders them hanged despite their pardons. Just as Everett prays to God, the valley is flooded and they are saved. Tommy finds the ring in a disc that floats by, and they return to town. However, when Everett presents the ring to Penny, it turns out not to be hers. She insists that he find the right one, even though she cannot remember exactly where she left it, and the family home is now at the bottom of the new lake. And we see, well, the hand, well, the hand car going by, rail car. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. End of story, my friends. Okay, now, what did I think of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Well, at first, I didn't know what to think of this because I didn't hear much about this. Well, I knew of its soundtrack in my view. I felt like this movie was going to be overrated in my view, but it turned out I was wrong to call it overrated. It proved to be a big success. It started out, well, in limited release before it got expanded. The film got good reviews and its soundtrack won a Grammy Award for Album of the Year. A couple years later, actually a year and a half later, in the using American folk music. There were all sorts of music that musicians and singers that appeared in that did some tunes in this, but there's so much to talk about. I have to say, it's really cool. Now then, but now for what I say about this movie is very good. The story is very good. I like the cast and characters. I mean, I really did love George Clooney as Everett, and let's see, John Turturro as Pete, and Tim Blake Nelson as Delmar. They're all really good. Chris Thomas King as Tommy. Let's see. Yeah. John Goodman, Frank Collison as Watch, Holly Hunter as Penny, Charles Durning as Pappy O'Daniel. Yeah. And Daniel Von Bargen as Sheriff Cooley, who actually had been compared to Boss Godfrey in the movie Cool Hand Luke. Yeah, I've seen some of that movie, never saw it all. If I happen to encounter this and watch it one day, you might get a review of it down the road. We'll see what happens. But anyway, it was really good. I actually do have a video cassette of it, but it's locked up in storage. I have watched it on the Stars networks before many times, aside from the video cassette. So I'm going to say, overall, I loved Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It is a fun-filled movie with great characters, great story, great music. That's what kind of got me into liking a little more older music and what have you, especially even though it's bluegrass and what have you, and folk music. Since even though it was a big seller for country music, but hey, I'm cool with that. Of course, the score was done by T-Bone Burnett, which I had to give him credit for that as well. So would I recommend Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Hell yeah. This is a film you need to see. If you've never seen this movie, this is one I would highly recommend. Because like I've said, this has a great cast, great story, great direction from the Coen brothers, a great soundtrack, etc., 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 etc. Haven't watched this in some time. I was going to and failed, but don't worry, I may get a chance sometime down the road. But overall, I loved Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Enough said. So, what are your thoughts on Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below. Subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you, well, two special Christmas reviews. I know Christmas isn't until next month, but I'm going to give you two of them. First off, I will give a spoiler-free review on the new Lego Star Wars Holiday Special coming up on Disney Plus, and then later on tomorrow night, look for a review of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, you may want to check out some of these other videos I have done. And they're pretty good too, as a matter of fact. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Coal Miner's Daughter, or you can see my review of Clouds in the upper right-hand corner, or just for fun as a bonus, see my recent spoiler-free review for the recent anime feature, Over the Moon. Or, if you'd like, click the subscribe button below in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. And don't forget, I'm only one subscriber away from reaching 250. I'd love to get to 250 if I can. Be prepared for a Q&A next year, okay? Until next time, everyone, I'm the Big D saying see ya.